Once upon a time, in a little town up north, there lived a carpenter and his wife. More than anything in the world, they wanted a child of their own. After many years of trying, their wish came true. His wife was going to have a baby. Now, from the bedroom window of their small cottage, the wife could see over the wall into the beautiful garden next door. Oh, what beautiful flowers there were, and the vegetable patch was always brimming with delicious vegetables. But no one dared to go over the garden wall to see them up close, because the garden belonged to a witch, who was always grumpy. One day, the wife was looking down at the garden from her window. How fresh-looking those big green heads of lettuce were. She turned to her husband and said, "It's just what I need to eat. You must go and get me some." "But I can't do that," he warned. "You know as well as I do the garden belongs to the witch, and I'd hate to think what she'd do if she caught me." "If I can't have that lettuce, I will not eat anything at all. I will die." What could the carpenter do? As the sun set over the sleepy town, he climbed over the garden wall. With very quiet steps, he took one green head of lettuce and swiftly ran back home. His wife ate the lettuce right away, but eating the lettuce only made her want more. If she could not have more lettuce, she said, there was nothing she would eat at all. So the next night, the carpenter climbed over the wall again. He picked up one more head of lettuce. All at once came a high, loud voice. "Stop! What do you think you're doing?" "Oh, I'm getting a lettuce for my wife," said the carpenter. "You thief!" yelled the witch. "You will pay for this." "Please," begged the carpenter. "My wife is going to have a baby. She saw your lettuce and wanted it so very much." "Why should I care about that?" shouted the witch. "I will do anything," said the carpenter. "You say you will do anything?" said the witch. "Yes." "Fine," said the witch. "Here's the deal. Go ahead, take all the lettuce you want. Your wife will have a baby girl, and when she does, the baby will be mine." "What?" said the carpenter. "I would never agree to that." "You already did," said the witch, and she laughed an evil laugh. Soon the wife had a beautiful baby girl, just as the witch had said. To keep the baby safe from the witch, the carpenter built a tall tower deep in the woods. They took turns to look after her in the room at the top of the tower. But the witch had a magic crystal ball which showed her exactly where the baby was being kept. One day, when the carpenter and his wife were both at the house, she cast a spell over both of them and made them fall into a deep, deep sleep. The witch arrived at the tower and said to the baby, "I will call you Rapunzel, for that is the name of the lettuce that brought you to me. Now, Rapunzel, you are mine." But the witch did not know how to take care of a baby. Rapunzel grew into a child, and the witch did not even know how to cut her hair, so the girl's beautiful hair grew longer and longer every day. All the witch could do was keep the child locked in the room at the very top of the tower. She told the girl that she should never leave the tower. As she grew up, many times Rapunzel asked the witch, "Why must I stay in this tower all the time? There is nothing here for me to do." And the witch would shout back, "I already told you so many times. The world is a very bad place. Now go comb your hair and be quiet." The witch had used her powers to make the stairs in the tower disappear and the doors close up. Now there was no way for Rapunzel to ever escape. And so many years later, Rapunzel's hair had grown very, very long. When it was time for the witch to visit her in the tower, she would call from outside, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel would throw a long braid out of the window. The witch would grab hold of her hair like a rope and climb up to the window. Poor Rapunzel. She was very lonely, having only the bad-tempered witch for company. All she could do was sing songs out of the window. Sometimes the birds would join in her songs, and she would feel a bit better. One day, a prince was walking through the woods, and he heard a beautiful singing voice. Where was it coming from? He walked closer and closer to the sound. At last he came to the tower. "This is odd," he said, looking around the tower wall. There's no door at the bottom, yet someone is singing at the very top. How does anyone get in or out of there?" Each day the prince came back to the tower. There was something about that voice that pulled him back. Who was that young woman singing at the top? Could he ever meet her? One day when the prince rode up, he saw an old woman standing below the tower. He jumped behind a tree to hide. It was a witch. He heard her call out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." A long braid was thrown out from the window at the very top. The old woman grabbed onto the braid and she climbed the wall to the window at the top of the tower. "Aha," said the prince, "so that's how it's done." He waited for a while until the girl's hair was thrown from the window again, and the witch climbed back down the tower wall and left. The prince waited. He stepped up to the tower. Trying to sound like the witch, he shouted, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." In a moment, the same long braid came out of the window and he climbed up the wall to the of the tower. You can be sure that Rapunzel was very surprised to see the prince climb into her window. She had never seen a person up close before, other than the witch. "Who are you?" she said fearfully. "Don't worry," said the prince. "I'm a friend. I feel as I know you, since I have heard you sing songs from up here day after day. You have a beautiful voice, and I love it when the birds sing with you too." "I like that too," said Rapunzel. "It may be the only thing I like, since I must stay here in this same old tower day after day my whole life long." Rapunzel told the prince about the witch. "But the world's a wonderful place," said the prince. He told Rapunzel all about the wonders of the world. Many hours went by as they chatted, and at last Rapunzel said he must go. "The witch might come back any time." "Very well, I'll be back tomorrow," he promised. Many months went by. Then one day the prince said, "If only you could get out of this tower." "I have an idea," said Rapunzel. "Bring me a ball of silk every time you come. I can weave the silk into a ladder. Silk folds up so small the witch won't see it. When the ladder gets long enough to reach the ground, we will both be able to climb out of here." "What a good idea," said the prince. "When we are out in the world, will you marry me?" "Yes, yes, I will." Every day after that, the prince brought a ball of silk to Rapunzel. Over time, she weaved the silk into a long ladder. On Rapunzel's 21st birthday, the witch spoke to her in a sharp voice. "Before you speak, know this. I don't want to hear any more about how alone you are in this tower all the time. It isn't going to change, Rapunzel, forever." "Who says I'm alone all the time?" said Rapunzel. "What?" said the witch. "Who's been here with you?" No one," said Rapunzel at once in fear. "I mean, no one but you." The witch did not believe her. She started to look everywhere in the room for something to prove that someone had been there. Soon she found the ladder. She held it high in the air and she yelled, "What is the meaning of this?" "My friend the prince brought me the silk," said Rapunzel. "You will never see this prince again," yelled the witch. She took out a knife and snip-snap, Rapunzel's lovely braid was cut off. With a stroke of her magic, Rapunzel was cast away to a faraway mountain range. Then the witch stayed in the tower. She knew that soon the prince would come back. The witch did not have to wait for long. Soon the prince was calling at the bottom of the tower. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Holding tightly to one end of Rapunzel's braid, she threw it out of the window. The prince took hold and climbed up. When he got to the window, he was very surprised to see the witch. "Where is Rapunzel, you wicked witch?" he demanded. "What have you done with her?" "You will never see your Rapunzel again," yelled the witch. And with that, the witch pushed the prince so hard that he lost hold of the window, and down, down he fell. The prince landed on some bushes below. That helped with the fall, but the bushes had sharp thorns, and some of those thorns went into his eyes, blinding him. For 2 years, the poor blind prince wandered the world looking for Rapunzel. From morning to night he called for her, but it was no use. At last he reached the cold mountain range, and he suddenly heard a beautiful voice singing. "I know that voice," he whispered. It was his dear Rapunzel. He drew closer and closer to the voice he knew so well. "My prince!" called Rapunzel when she saw him. The two of them hugged tight. 2 tears of joy fell into the eyes of the prince, and all at once he could see again. And what happened next? Well, I'm sure you can guess. The prince and Rapunzel went back to the village to free her parents from the spell, and then went to live in his kingdom not far away. They were soon married, and the prince became king of the land, and Rapunzel became the queen. The two of them lived happily ever after, and no one heard of the witch ever again. Hi guys! Thank you so much for the lovely feedback from my Little Red Riding Hood story. I'm really happy that you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this story, then please leave a like, share and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Unfortunately, YouTube won't allow comments because the videos are for children. But if you'd like to leave a comment, feedback or suggestion, then please go over to my page on Facebook, Mads Stories. Find the link below in the description. Stay safe, learn lots of new things and have lots of fun in this sunshine. Bye bye for now. Mwah.